Good morning and welcome to the second of our Dacorum Community Choir at home sessions that we've held during our summer break. May I invite you to please stand up? Let's start with a stretch. Stretch to the ceiling. If you're standing, do stand tiptoes, perfectly balanced. Bring your arms down slowly. And collapse gently down with a heavy head and totally relaxed. And uncurl. Stretch taller than you did first time. To tiptoes, tight arms, tight backs, tight legs. Bring your arms down slowly. And keep yourself wonderfully broad. Relax those shoulders. Please copy me. So we've just done sort of two, first lot with just one bar each of memory. We've just done four lots of 2 bars at a time. I'm going to give you slightly more to remember this time. A 4-bar memory test. Well done if you made that. Please now very gently, sirening, I'm going to give you a chord of C major. And I'm just going to start on the C, low in the voice, and we're going to siren up, lots of resonance here. Up the octave and then back down. 1 and 2. Lots of sliding. I'm going to take you down a semitone this time to B flat major. Again, sirening and down a semitone this time to A major and another. So getting low in the voice for you sopranos and tenors. A flat major and now to G major. Here we go. And taking ourselves back to our C major where we started. And we're going to sing this exercise. Z, za, Z. Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z. So alternating between Z and za. I'll do it. And then my turn, your turn. And then off we go. Z, za, Z. Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z. Here we go. Upper semitone. Z, za, Z. Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z. Another. Z, za, Z. Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z. Z, za, Z. Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z. Z, za, Z. Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z. Last one. Z, za, Z. Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z, za, Z. Excellent. If you made played that. We're going to go back to our C tonal centre, this time to minor, and an exercise which we as a choir know well, so I'm going to move quite quickly. If you're new to this exercise, you might want to just rewind to become more familiar with it. And we're just going do-ba, 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 do-ba. I'll break it down, my turn. Do-ba, 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 do-ba. There's all the way through. As I said, I'll now do it into a slightly smaller section. Do-ba, do-ba, do. Your turn. My turn. Do-ba, do-ba, do-ba. Your turn. I'll do that one again. Do-ba, do-ba, do-ba. Your turn. Do-ba, do-ba, do-ba. And now simply ba, do-ba. Your turn. I glue those three parts together. Do-ba, 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 do-ba. Here we go. Do-ba, 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 do-ba. Up the semitone. Do-ba, 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 do-ba. Another. Do-ba, 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 do-ba. Good, and if you're already not grooving, please do so. I'm going to be a bit formulaic for you, but what I like to do now is to step left on beat 1 and step right on beat 3, and you're going to click on the back beat in between the two. So do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba. I'm going to take you back down a little way to E flat minor. Here we go with the stepping on 1 and 3, clicking on 2 and 4, and a 1 2 3. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba. Fabulous. Now that takes us nicely into our first song of the session, and this is called Malt, Come Down. One of the joys of our sessions that I've been leading from home is it has forced me to find some new things, and I found some gems, and I'm quite keen on this little round. So the text, Malts come down, malts come down, from an old angel to a French crown. I'll explain those words in a moment. I'll say them in rhythm and then you say them back. Malts come down, malts come down. From an old angel to a French crown. Next bit of text. There's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows when malts come down. I'll put that in rhythm now. There's never a maid in all this town. There's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows when malts come down. And then the final bit of text. The greatest drunkards in this town are very glad that malts come down. And I'll put that in rhythm. The greatest drunkards in this town, the greatest drunkards in this town, are very glad that malts come down. If you're following the music that I sent to current members, there's a slight typo on that last bar, and it is indeed a crotchet quaver and then a dotted crotchet. Malts come down. That second note is in error. Okay, let's add some pitch to it now. The version which some of you might be reading from is in D major. I'm going to be doing it up a fourth from what you see there, which will just suit us more happily. My turn, your turn. Malts come down, malts come down, malts come down, malts come down, from an old angel to a French crown, from an old angel to a French crown. There's never a maid in all this town, there's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows that malts come down, but well she knows when malts come down. The greatest drunkards in this town, the greatest drunkards in this town, are very glad that malts come down, are very glad that malts come down. Now, I should have clarified what some of these bits of text are all about here. The angel was an English gold coin. It says on my little notes here that weighed 23 3/4 carats and was minted from 1465 to the time of Charles I, and it was worth about 7 shillings. And then, so that's the angel, and then the French crown of the time was a gold coin weighing 23 carats and was worth about 5 shillings. So the price of beer has come down. Perhaps it was a sort of an eat out to help out scheme, something like that. Anyway, it's a joyous number, regardless of your drinking habits. Malts come down, malts come down, malts come down, malts come down, from an old angel to her French crown, from an old angel to her French crown. There's never a maid in all this town, there's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows when malts come down, but well she knows when malts come down. The greatest drunkards in this town, the greatest drunkards in this town, are very glad that malts come down, are very glad that malts come down. I'm going to give you slightly more to remember at a time this time. If that's too much for you to take in, just rewind and revisit those shorter phrases we've just done. Malts come down, from an old angel to her French crown. Malts come down, from an old angel to her French crown. There's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows when malts come down. There's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows when malts come down. The greatest drunkards in this town are very glad that malts come down. The greatest drunkards in this town are very glad when malts come down. That malts come down at the end, my mistake. Okay, let's do that one exercise one more time, and then we'll start to try and glue those little 3 melodies together. Malts come down, from an old angel to her French crown. Malts come down, from an old angel to her French crown. There's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows when malts come down. There's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows when malts come down. The greatest drunkards in this town are very glad that malts come down. The greatest drunkards in this town are very glad that malts come down. Okay, if you want to just reinforce those, please rewind. We're now going to have my turn singing through, and then you sing back. Malts come down, from an old angel to her French crown. There's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows when malts come down. The greatest drunkards in this town are very glad that malts come down. I will mouth, I will continue to pitch match as we sing. Here we go. Malts come down, from an old angel to a French crown. There's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows when malts come down. The greatest drunkards in this town are very glad that malts come down. Okay, bravo if you made that. Quite a lot I'm expecting of you just now in terms of memory. Now, the real challenge is that I will now start. When I get to a French crown, you will then start from the beginning whilst I then continue. And hopefully we've got an element of harmony going on in your own homes. You will almost certainly need to just do a bit of rewinding to reinforce what we've just done. So I start. When I look very encouragingly at you, I would like you to then start from the beginning and just sing it through the once, and then we come to a close. And I will join you on your last phrase, so we end in unison for the last phrase. So I start, you don't. When I look at you encouragingly, you start from the beginning. I will carry on from where I've just left. Malt's come down from an old angel to a French crown. There's never a maid in all this town, but well she knows when malt's come down. The greatest drunkards in this town are very glad that malt's come down. The greatest drunkards in this town are very glad that malt's come down. Bravo. If you managed that, you are clearly doing this before. You might have enjoyed the reduced price of beer. Judy, the choir's regular accompanist, introduced me to a beautiful Irish folk song that I think has particular resonance for her in her childhood. And it's called the Garten Mother's Lullaby. Again, something I've discovered because of Judy's prompting, and I found some beautiful versions of it. Now, like many songs which are folk songs in their origin, they exist in so many different forms. So I hope this is one, if you know the song already, the sort of form of the melody you know. If not, it might be slightly different, but that is just the nature of folk music, an evolving tradition. So the text: sleep, O babe, for the red bee hums, the silent twilights fall. I'll sing you that phrase if you could then sing it back. Sleep, O babe, for the red bee hums, the silent twilights fall. Your turn. Sleep, O babe, for the red bee hums, the silent twilights fall. My turn. And the text is: evil from the grey rock comes to wrap the world in thrall. Evil from the grey rock comes to wrap the world in thrall. Your turn. Evil from the grey rock comes to wrap the world in thrall. And then my turn. Alian Vano, my child, my joy. Alian Vano, my child, my joy. Your turn. Alian Vano, my child, my joy. My turn. My love and heart's desire. Your turn. My love and heart's desire. My turn. The text: the crickets sing you a lullaby. The crickets sing you lullaby. The crickets sing you lullaby. My turn. Beside the dying fire. Your turn. Let's take that verse one more time. I'm going to give you slightly more to remember, rather like I did at the beginning of the verse. My turn, your turn. Sleep, O babe, for the red bee hums, the silent twilights fall. Your turn. Sleep, O babe, for the red bee hums, the silent twilights fall. My turn. Evil from the grey rock comes to wrap the world in thrall. Your turn. Evil from the grey rock comes to wrap the world in thrall. My turn. Elian Vanor, my child, my joy, my love and heart's desire. Your turn. Elian Vanor, my child, my joy, my love and heart's desire. My turn. The crickets sing you lullaby beside the dying fire. Your turn. Oh, I just changed the rhythm there on dying, but I'm sure you sang it correctly. Beside the dying fire. And also you have two notes to the syllable when you sing quite appropriately. So the second verse, dusk is drawn and the green man's thorn is wreathed in rings of fog. Shivra sails his boat till morn upon the starry bog. Elian Vanno, the paly moon hath brimmed her cup in dew and weeps to hear the sad sleep tune I sing, O love, to you. My turn, your turn. Dusk is drawn and the green man's thorn is wreathed in rings of fog. Your turn. Dusk is drawn and the green man's thorn is wreathed in rings of fog. My turn. Shivra sails his boat till morn upon the starry bog. Your turn. Shivra sails his boat till morn upon the starry bog. My turn. Elian Vanor, the paly moon hath brimmed her cusp in dew. Your turn. Elian Vanor, the paly moon hath brimmed her cusp in dew and weeps to hear the sad sleep tune I sing, O love, to you. Your turn. And weeps to hear the sad sleep tune I sing, O love, to you. And then, in terms of our version of this song, verse 1 then returns again at the end. So we have verse 1, middle verse, and then the final verse. I'm very much going to sort of make up an accompaniment as we go through this wonderful, gentle lullaby. Before we do sing the song through, I realise that there are quite a lot of words here which may not be familiar to you all, so just a little bit of background to that. When we have the word Eval, this is actually the name of the queen of what are called the Northern Fairies. So many of these folk songs have such sort of magical, mystical, mysterious sort of characters and words, and that adds a great deal to the charm. But it's not to do with evil, but Eval, this queen of the fairies, wrapping the world in thrall, wrapping its arms around with sort of power there. And then when we sing Elian Vanno, that's meaning little child, or the baby to whom we are singing this lullaby. And then we also have a little bit of reference to Shivra. And this, in my sort of definition I found here, is described as being a prankster class of trooping fairies. So all this lovely mystery and colour. So the Garten Mother's Lullaby. Thank you very much indeed, Judy, for introducing this to me. And I very much hope that as a choir we have the chance to sing this with you when we are able to sing together, hopefully before too long. Sleep, O babe, for the rock comes to wrap the world in thrall. Aljan, oh my child, my joy, my love and heart's desire, the cricket sing your lullaby beside the dying fire. Dusk is drawn and the green man's thorn is ringed in rings of fog. Shiva sails his boat till morn upon the starry bog. Aljan, when all the pearly moon hath brimmed her clasp in dew, and weeps to hear the sad sleep tune I sing, oh love, to you. Sleep, oh babe, for the red behomes the silent twilight's fall. Evil from the grey rock comes to wrap the world in thrall. Aljan, oh my child, my joy, my love and heart's desire, the cricket sing your lullaby beside the dying fire. We now move to a fabulous song from the show Swing Time, and this is called The Way You Look Tonight. There are so many gorgeous arrangements of this, and some great choral arrangements as well, which we can visit. We're going to sing our sort of unison song. This is most like the sort of Frank Sinatra version that many of you will know. I'll move very, very quickly in the hope that most of you will know this already. We'll spend a little bit more time on the middle eight. But it goes like this. My turn, your turn. Someday when I'm awfully low, your turn. My turn. When the world is cold, your turn. I will feel a glow just thinking of you, your turn. I will feel a glow just thinking of you, my turn. And the way you look tonight, your turn. Now in the music, when you sing I will feel a glow just thinking of you, it does become more expansive, and then it's only when you get to tonight that the momentum of the song then returns. Here's verse 2, which has a little link of oh but you're lovely, your turn, and oh but you're lovely, my turn, with your smile so warm, your turn, my turn, and your cheeks so soft, your turn, my turn. There is nothing for me but to love you, your turn. There's nothing for me but to love you, my turn. Just the way you look tonight. Sort of first two verses, if you like, and then there's the most wonderful key change. We've been in this sound world, E flat major, and suddenly it goes to sort of quite a sort of shock to the system. With each word your tenderness grows. Your turn. My turn. Tearing my fear apart. Your turn. Tearing my fear apart. My turn. And that laugh that wrinkles your nose. Your turn. And that laugh that wrinkles your nose. My turn. Touches my foolish heart. Your turn. Touches my foolish heart. Let's go back now to with each word your tenderness grows. Let's sing it together. 1 and 2. With each word your tenderness grows, tearing my fear apart. And that laugh that wrinkles your nose touches my foolish heart. Excellent. And then we have lovely, never, never change, keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange, because I love you just the way you look tonight. Same melodies we had before. And then at the very end of the song, again, we'll take a little bit of time. Just the way you look tonight. And then we'll have a bit of a play out. Here's that final coda, if you like. My turn, your turn. Just the way you look tonight. Your turn. Just the way you look tonight. Now, always when we're singing, it's so important that we sing the meaning of the texts and the beautiful melodies as well. So go into your fantasy world and sing this to your idea of heaven. we take ourselves back a few years now to 1928 and Mac the Knife from the Thrupney Opera. The text, or the original German words, Bertolt Brecht and Kurt Weill's inimitable music. There are so many fabulous versions of this song, aren't they? And so varied in their style. Make of it what you will, whoever takes your fancy. Perhaps that's the Louis Armstrong version. But most amazing words, incredibly sort of gruesome as this long litany of victims of Mac the Knife is read out. An extraordinary piece. What you sing is actually very repetitive, and a lot of the interest lies in the accompaniment. I'll try and bring some of that through when we sing it through in its entirety. Let me quickly introduce the melody, just in case any of you have been hiding under a hole and haven't heard this song before. My turn, your turn. Oh, the shark bites. Let's try that one again. He was biting a bit too soon. Shark has pretty teeth. He hasn't bitten yet. My turn, your turn. Oh, the shark has pretty teeth. Dear, your turn. Oh, the shark has pretty teeth. Dear, my turn. And he shows them pearly white. And he shows them pearly white. My turn. Just a jackknife has Macheath. Dear, your turn. My turn. And he keeps it out of sight. Your turn. My turn. When the shark bites with his teeth. Dear, your turn. When the shark bites with his teeth. Dear, my turn. Scarlet billows start to spread. Your turn. Scarlet billows start to spread. My turn. Fancy gloves though, where's Macheath? Dear, your turn. So there's not a trace of red. So there's not a trace of red. Okay, and then on it goes. Each verse kind of leads on with the same little bit of gap in. So red on the sidewalk, Sunday morning. Now, are there any traps? I don't think there really are. It builds and it builds and it builds until we get to Louis Miller, where it just comes down a little bit in volume. And then we can sort of build it up again, and then right at the end, on the repetition of "Oh, the line forms on the right, dear," now that Mackie's back in town, we can come right down in terms of our dynamic there. I'm going to sometimes leave you to your own devices. I'll sometimes sing with you. Some lovely, crazy bits of accompaniment. So when you're singing Suki Tawdry, the accompaniment does this. Suki Tawdry, Jenny Diver. All these sort of very sort of sinister sorts of sounds. So please don't be put off by what I do. I might also sort of play some little bits of canon with you as well. Here's a little introduction. Just a jackknife has Macheath, dear, and he keeps it out of sight. the side. Disappeared after drawing out his cash, and McKee spent like a sailor. Did a boy do something rash? Sookie Tawdry, Jenny Diver, Polly Peachum, Lucy Brown. Oh, the line forms on the right, dear, now that Mackie's back in town. Oh, the line forms on the right, dear, now that Mackie's back in town. Thank you for joining us once again for Dacorum Community Choir at home, and I very much look forward to our next session together as a choir, whether that's something live and interactive or via this medium, or God willing, where we're actually all together once again. Have a lovely rest of your summer. I look forward to seeing you at our next session.